Welcome to Marketing Research. So I'm really happy to be working with you this semester, and uh, let me introduce myself and the course a little bit. I'm introducing myself because that would kind of show you like how my interests evolved, and I understood better what I should cover in a course like this. My name is Amiya Basu. I'm of Indian origin, and I have been here for a long, long time. I came here as I did undergraduate physics and at the Indian Institute of Technology. I came over here to do PhD in physics, then drifted to marketing. Eventually, I got my PhD from Stanford University a long time back. But at that time, I was very, very quantitatively driven. Basically, the mathematical models interested me, that part of marketing. There's a lot of it in marketing. Then I went to teach at the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, which is a very psychology-driven place. But there I appreciated the things that I never paid any attention to, the psychology of choice, how to make a questionnaire, what kind of biases may arise. I got a much better appreciation for that. So the way I teach marketing research evolved from just focusing on the statistical methodology to like the types of data that we collect, and in the process of data collection, the errors that we can make very, very easily, can we fix it, into issues like that. Since 1992, I have been teaching at Syracuse University, and I teach this class as well as I teach mathematical models to PhD students sometimes. I teach courses on data analytics. So this class is marketing research. So marketing research, you can broadly think of it as the collection of data, analysis of data to help improve decision making by managers. Basically, to get a better idea what the marketing environment is like. So there is that element of what data should we collect to begin with, how to store that data, how to organize that data, also how to analyze that data. So both sides, data collection and data analysis, are parts of marketing research. So in marketing research, you can think of two types of marketing research. One is the big data, the types of things you do in a data business analytics type course. A lot of the time, there is data that are generated by organizations or come to organizations in a very big volume in regular basis. In this course, we'll introduce you to some data like that. There is a database made available by the Dominick's store chain in Chicago. Basically, the weekly sales of something like 15,000 different items, stock keeping units by that store chain through 1989 through 1997, huge data set. And I'll use some examples drawn from that. The nice thing about that data set, it's publicly available. But my course largely will not be on data analytics. Those items should be available. I'll give you make some extra notes available to you in case you want to pursue it further. But this class would be focusing on smaller data sets, largely the types of research you do when you do a small piece of research starting from scratch. So the course would be basically broken up into segments. In the front part, we'll start by discussing the types of data that we collect from customers. We'll talk about the different ways we can proceed to collect that data. Exploratory research, which is largely flexible, open-ended, to get a better sense of what types of data that we need so that we don't miss out anything significant. Descriptive research, that is more standardized survey research, where we focus on the statistical data analysis, and experiments where we change something, measure the impact of that change on some outcome of interest. We'll talk about one particular thing called attitude measurement, basically measuring how much somebody likes or dislikes a product and whether we can do anything about it by changing the features of the product. We'll talk about questionnaire construction. This will be basically the front part of the course, the data collection side of the course. Then the course would end with discussion of data analysis, but in between there is a transition area, which is sampling. We are typically, when we are talking about customers, we are interested in a specific customer population, say the students at a university, a specified population. In practice, we usually do not study the whole population, only a small part, which is called the sample. So we'll talk about what are the alternative sampling methods used in practice, what are the things that can go wrong, and talk about one particular method called simple random sampling, which is also the method most statistics courses focus on, and talk about how to construct confidence interval. Basically, if I estimate something, how much margin of error should we allow? And the reverse problem, that is at the sample planning stage, if I decide the margin of error should be this, what sample size we need. So we'll talk about that sampling. And finally, in the data analysis, we'll talk about how we can frame simple research questions, that is hypothesis testing, that helps our decision making, and how we can answer them using statistical analysis. The course will end with one specific method, regression analysis. So in the course on statistics, you go through many details of that. Here I'll keep it very, very simple. What is the meaning of the model? What do the parameters mean? And how we can answer managerially significant questions looking at the parameters that you estimated. So in the presentation of the course itself, the taped lectures that you hear, I'll just focus mostly on the theory and ideas. We'll expand on them when we go over it in our weekly sessions. And there also be small projects that you will be doing, both on data collection, data analysis, to supplement these discussions. So I'll try to keep the software that you need to things that are easily available, like Excel. But we'll find out precisely what is available. We might use packages like Minitab if they are available. So that is something we'll find out as the time comes. So welcome to the course. I'm really excited to work with you and hope at the end of it, you like the area as much as I do. Welcome.